Welcome to Blackbriar Gaming. Today we have woken up, at least here in Australia, to some very exciting reveals for the old world, and that's what we'll be talking about. Specifically, the reveals of the Kingdom of Bretonnian miniatures that we will be getting upon release, as well as some information about said release, and how they're going to be doing some of the other faction releases as well in regards to miniatures and what we can expect, we can expect it from, and in what material. So let's get into it. We have the Warhammer Day preview Kingdom of Bretonnia revealed. Alright, so this video is fantastic, gives a nice wide shot of the army as we can expect it, and so what we understand with what we'll be getting, just to track back a bit, is 2 army boxes that will come probably with the rulebook. That'll be a Bretonnia army box and a Tomb Kings army box. The rulebook should come with it, templates, dice, all the things you need. Watching this video and having a look at the army that they put on it, you kind of understand what we can expect. That is, I imagine, the plastic Pegasus Lord that we're about to see, the Pegasus Knights. We've got the peasants coming, as well as Knights of the Realm again in plastic, some Knights of the Realm on foot. These are the kind of units and the quantities we can expect to see in those army boxes upon release day. But let's get into it and we'll talk a bit about that more as we go. So let's see, new plastic kits. Now, this is new-ish. We have seen the Lord on Pegasus previously, in kind of spoilers, leaks, etc. But that was just grey plastic, and I don't know if we even see this full miniature, certainly not the different options. So this is a new one in all of its painted glory. This one looks, I think, absolutely fantastic. It's got the excuse me for my coughing. I have been sick over the last week. There will be a bit of that, but I will power through. So here, it's just classic fantasy miniature. I absolutely love it. Unfortunately, the pose on the Pegasus here is a bit similar to the pose on the Unicorn for the Enchantress, but look, beggars can't be choosers. I think this Lord looks great. We've never had a plastic Pegasus Lord like this before, so it was a wonderful inclusion and a great new miniature. So it comes with some options. My mouse is all over the place. Here we go. Comes with some options. Different heads. You can make it as a Baron that we can see there. Let's zoom in a little on this one. So this is just some close-ups from different angles. That is a wonderful, angry-looking Pegasus right there. And the Pegasus does actually come with 3 head options too, which is nice. So getting out of that, we then go, you can instead of making it, I think it's a Duke or a Lord, whatever you call it, you can make it a Baron with a little bit of a less impressive head here, with a sword instead of a lance, and a shield, I believe, on the other side there. And here you can see the other head for the Pegasus as well as a bit of a alternate paint scheme. And then finally, the third miniature that this kit can make. Yeah, there we go. You can either build a lofty Duke or a slightly less high-ranking Baron, or you can build a standard bearer. Look, I'm not a huge fan of this standard bearer. I think either the one on horse or the one on foot I would prefer, and certainly as it's a single pose Pegasus, I wouldn't want to kind of waste that pose, if you will, on a standard bearer. I'm all about that Duke. I'd much rather go down that direction. We'll 100% be getting one of those, and including, I do expect that Duke to come in the Bretonnia army box that we will get upon release. So I will be turning mine into a Duke and not a standard bearer. But look, this guy's fine. I dare say from a game and rules perspective, this will be a very powerful option for your standard bearer, being able to get around the battlefield and where you need it to be. And certainly in the Twitch stream, they did hint at some pretty powerful magic banners and different ways that the standard bearer interacts with your Bretonnian force. So really versatile kit, looks fantastic. Pegasus options for the head are nice, and being able to make 3 different miniatures is really cool. So there we have it, the brand new Pegasus Lord, or Pegasus Kit, whatever you want to call it. Next up, this gets cool. So Knights of the Realm on foot is always something that's kind of existed in the lore, in the background, but that we haven't had miniatures for. Let's zoom in, and we can't. I think these look fantastic. So some people have been saying they're a little busy. They're kind of meant to be. I'm okay with it. You certainly wouldn't want to have them just looking like normal Empire Knights. And if they were any less busy, I think they would risk that. Whereas here, you definitely get that Bretonnian vibe from the excuse me, the absolutely ridiculous head. What do we call those? The icons on top of their heads. Some of them they're a bit chunky. Let's not pretend they're not. But it's a lot of fun, and I think there's some absolutely really cool details, really cool options here. It's going to be great kit bashing these with the Knights of the Realm as well, because those are a bit dated. Those kits, because I'm pretty sure it's the existing Knights of the Realm on horse kit that will be coming out. So being able to kit bash this with those will give them a bit of a modern uplift, which will be a nice option. So the Knights of the Realm on foot, I expect them to come 10 to a box, a bit of an elite unit. It would be lovely to be able to run units of 10 in the new edition of Warhammer Fantasy. We'll have to wait to see if that's reasonable or achievable, but they also come as a dual kit either with swords and shields or with great weapons, which is really cool. There's some epic looking swords in this, or are they all axes? Yeah, for a second there, I thought the miniature on the very right in the front rank had a really cool two-handed sword going on, but no, I believe that is an axe as well. It's just kind of on its side. So it looks like they're all about the big axes here. They look a bit wild. They look like giant kind of, I don't know, executioner's axes, almost, you could say. Replacing those heads with something a little more reasonable, like a smaller kind of Warhammer, not a 40k style Thunderhammer, but a small kind of Warhammer or battle axe heads, or something a little more subtle, might give these a more realistic flavor. But also, it's fantasy, people. They don't have to be that realistic. But I think these look great. I think they're a bunch of fun. I'll definitely be getting these on the table. Very excited about them. So that is 2 new units so far that we've seen in this reveal. Let's keep going. Next, there you go. There's some more detail. That's a cool standard bearer. All the little locks. I don't know what the locks are about. Someone please tell me in the comments. Looks like kind of a bunch of locks that young people put on bridges to seal their love. That's cute. That's nice. But some absolutely great pieces here. Just over the top, those heads. They're so funny. What fun. What great fun. Next, the Pegasus Knights. So we knew these were coming. They're returning in plastic, which is great. Yeah. They did exist previously. Of course they did. I think these will be coming in the army box as well. Pretty stock standard. You can run your Lord with them. Your Lord's Pegasus will, of course, look very mighty compared to these ones. But that's fine. That's fine. It's the Lord's Pegasus, right? It's meant to be. But getting these, again, will be fantastic. They cost an absolute fortune. If you try and hunt them down in anything other than absolutely horribly put together and painted miniatures. Knights of the Realm, stock standard. Those were always coming for Bretonnia, so that'll be great to have them easily buyable again. Now, we get into the men-at-arms and the peasant bowmen. So, what they said is that these aren't going to be coming in boxes of 10 like they kind of started to do with some of the Warhammer boxes near the end there in 8th edition. These are becoming in big, meaty boxes. The peasant bowmen in particular, if we scroll down, they'll be coming in a box of 32 archers, as well as the defensive stakes. That is wild. Now, that's both. It could be good and it could be bad. I think it'll be really good because there'll be some value there, I think, in that box. I dare say they'll be priced the same as kind of your Horus Heresy 20 Space Marine miniature boxes, which is for 32 miniatures, plus some extra bits and pieces. I think a pretty good deal, if they're priced that way. And I think they will be. That's the vibe I'm getting. So much health. So, look, these are great boxes. These do not need to be updated at all. The Men-at-Arms, in particular, are just a fantastic kit. I love their aesthetic. The Peasant Bowmen, even though these are, 10-year-old boxes plus, they look fantastic. When did these come out? 6th edition, maybe? Must be. They look great. No notes. These do not need to be redone. And that's the thing. There's so many miniatures within fantasy that do not need to be done and do not need to be redone. Just release them as they were. That'll make me happy with a few little extra bits and pieces here and there. But yeah, so box of 32. So that's great to me because it means you don't have to buy, 2 or 3 boxes to create one infantry unit. But at the same time, I don't want to be running units of 30 bowmen, right? A unit of 10 bowmen or 16 bowmen is absolutely fine. So hopefully the rules are not leaning towards big units of 30 plus infantry. And they're just releasing them in this way to make it a lot easier to collect and so you can get some value as you buy them. So 32 miniatures, 1 box, Peasant Bowman. And lastly, the last miniature we're seeing, which is going to be Forge World resin here, is a Handmaiden of the Lady. Lovely miniature. I never I don't love kind of the very small touch points to the base when it comes to Forge World resin. It's a bit more snappable than plastic. So this will be an interesting model to see how it goes. Hopefully that stuff in particular doesn't get too droopy. It'll be what it'll be. Either way, I think she looks great. An amazing improvement on what we used to have for enchantresses. Is she an enchantress? Handmaiden, if you will. For the Fey Enchantress. There we go. So no, she's great. Great miniature. Good to see. Think she'll do amazing things on the battlefield. And here we go. Here's the miniatures we already knew were coming. All of these, of course, are Forge World resin, as well as all of the characters will be. These are all great. I love all of these. In particular, that Horse Standard Bearer, I think is just so nice. Same, that Questing Knight Paladin. Amazing. Just looks great. Lastly, not quite lastly, Field Trebuchet. Here we go. So this, as a metal miniature, was a nightmare to put together. As a Finecast miniature, an absolute nightmare because Finecast sucks. So they've retooled it as Forge World resin. Now, that has its risks as well, but it also says what we can expect in the future. So they did say that there will be other kits for other races that will be retooled as Forge World resin. I'm not upset about it. It's really the only option they had here, because they're not going to go Finecast ever. But they are going to do a bunch in metal, which is nice to hear. But this miniature in metal, look, I prefer Forge World resin here. We'll see how much it costs. But look, I looked at these on eBay, and you're paying at least $180 for one of these. So if it's less than $180, I'm going to be happy. That's dollary dues I'm talking about there. So, some other things to talk about here. They do say that we will also see other kits for Bretonnia released in metal, which is amazing. I love that they're going back to metal miniatures for certain things. So it's your Questing Knights, your Grail Knights are the two there that I think we can expect. It'll be interesting to see if they go back and do some special characters, though in metal as well. I'm gonna excuse me as I flick open my Bretonnia book. You may hear it in the background there. So the main ones we're talking about here. Oh, and the Battle Pilgrims. Good thing I opened it. I would love to see Battle Pilgrims. Hopefully we will. Surely we will. I don't think they will come immediately. Certainly the wording they used in the Twitch stream is that everything we've seen in this article today will be released. Let's just scroll up so we can have a look at that beautiful trebuchet as we talk. Everything that we've seen today will be released immediately, and then the metal kits to accompany it that are being redone as direct order from GW might come a little later as opposed to immediately. But if we don't see some Battle Pilgrims with a Grail Relique, I'm going to be super disappointed. I'm sure we will. It's just absolute classic Bretonnia, so I'm sure that's coming. As I said, you've got the Grail Knights, you've got the Questing Knights. I'm sure we'll see both of those. If we don't see Grail Knights, I won't be too upset. It's just, there's so little difference between Knights of the Realm, unless I'm really missing something there. Their heads are a little more fancy. Sure. But then when it comes to special characters, it'll be interesting to see whether they do release King Lewin Leoncourt as a metal miniature. I assume they will, but also those wings. Gonna have to pin them for his griffin there. And then I'd love to see a little Duke Theodoric of Brionne as well. I'm just looking at the moment in my 6th edition Bretonnia army book. So if those two miniatures get released in metal as well, along with the Battle Pilgrims, Grail Knights, and Questing Knights, I will be a super happy Bretonnia collector. So we'll wait and see what comes. The other thing they said here, and the other thing they noted that, so that, and as I was saying, that's what we can now expect for other factions as well. So we can expect new plastic kits. We can expect them redoing some kits in Forge World resin that existed previously. We can expect new resin kits, and then we can expect some metal kits for direct orders. So that's how they're going to do this. They're going quite diverse with how they're releasing this, which I think is great. In regards to the army boxes that we'll get, I'm pretty sure that'll just be the new plastic miniatures. I don't think we'll see resin released in those kind of big army boxes that come with the rulebook, but wait and see what we get there. Now, the last thing they mention here is when we'll actually see the Old World. This is the first time they've ever given us an idea of date when it comes to the Old World. Early 2024 is what they say in this article. However, the Twitch stream, the words that they used there were that it was one of the first releases that we will see in 2024, which to me, and he said you will not have to wait very long at all, so that implies to me either January or February. Definitely by the end of February, we will be seeing the Old World in 2024, which is just so exciting. Not long at all. So, that is everything out of the reveal today. What are you excited about? Are you going to go Bretonnia? The other army, of course, they're talking about that we will see on release for lots of that big new army box will be Tomb Kings. We know that's coming. So you're going to go Bretonnia, going to go Tomb Kings. Let me know in the comments. Going to go a different direction and just pick up the rulebook in a different way. Tomb Kings, we can expect to see their full reveal, I think, in about mid-November is when that'll be coming. So we'll be doing another one of these then. But in the meanwhile, thank you so much for watching, and just get excited for Old World, people. It's not long to go. We'll see it soon.